All right. So, the Jobo system in general. It starts with your tank. You can get a very small tank. This is aptly called the 35mm tank. It is the 1510. They do go by a number system, and it does make sense. The 10, think of it as just one 35mm reel. That's what fits inside. You need the tank, you need a core, which is this guy, and you need the lid. Now, this core is too tall. It's a two reel tank core. There's a shorter version, which I would use in here. I don't have one, so I can't use this by itself. 1500 series tanks or reels, they work just like any other plastic reel where you can move it. It will take a 35mm, or you can open it up and do 120 size, in which case you can put two of those on one reel and develop two rolls in one tank. Very convenient. Now, this can be processed in a few different ways. You can fill it up, you can do inversion processing, or you can do rotary processing. The rotary processing, like I said, you can do manually, like on this base here, this guy. Oops, we're gonna drop all that stuff. You can do it motorized by the magnet coupling, such as the silver base, or you can do it with a geared lid, and the gear is an accessory. I don't know if I have an extra. I got my spare parts box right here. Yeah, hold on. Sorry, microphone, I'm gonna make some noise. So this is the gear, and it simply presses down onto the lid. You snap it into place. You can remove it if you have to, but this would change the lid to a gear. And their lids, the center pops down to take up airspace. So if you're using a process like C41, where the bleach creates a lot of gas and expansion, it keeps that down to a minimum. We'll keep that up here for a sec. Okay, so 1500 tank, two reels. I said earlier, I don't have any 35mm reels. What I use instead of the plastic reels are stainless steel. Now these are made by Hughes. They're really good. They make 35mm and 120, but they have a much larger core opening for the cores of these, and I think they also probably fit Patterson. So I like these better. It only holds one roll of 120 and one roll of 35mm if you get those. I like them, but they are not required. Okay, so then expansion. If you need to use larger quantities, as you saw, you can use this. And this is just the extension 1530. And you can put it on a 1520 tank or on a 1510 tank, and it makes it taller. And it simply snaps on just like the lid. Okay, and then the lid goes on top of that. However, as you can see, the core does not fit. So you have these extensions, and they just insert and lock, and then you put them in, and you have to kind of build up to the total height, which that might be correct. Yeah. And now you have a full larger size tank, and it would take, I think, yeah, this will hold 2, this will hold 3. So this will take up to 5 reels total. And then of course you increase your volume. Okay. The other size tank you can get is the 2500 series. So this is more for like the professional machines, but you can still use it on the silver base. You can still use it on the hand base or on the larger processors. You can use it with the lidded or the cap lid or the geared, doesn't matter. But it functions the same way. In this case, I've got a couple of 35mm reels. You would have a core, I just don't have one in here right now. But this size tank here also, oh, I've got it here, allows you to use the 4x5 sheet film spiral or reel. This will hold 6 sheets of 4x5 down to I think 6x9 and process. So you can develop sheet film in the same tank as you would your roll film. Very versatile. And this size tank holds 2 of the standard spirals, but just like the others, you can get a larger, like I said, this will hold 5. It'll also hold 2 of the 4x5 reels, giving you 12 sheet processing in one tank. But what if you have something taller? You can do that. You can get all the way to this big. So this is a larger tank, a little bit taller than this guy. You can see, a little bit taller, with an extension on it. The extension just pops off and pops onto one of these, one of those, one of these, whatever you want. So again, very, very versatile. Then if you want to go really big, you can do the expert drums. Expert drums are for hand roller base or motorized base only. The silver base will not accept it because this does not have the ability to add a magnet. So it's a gear connection only, although the hand base doesn't require it. Does not have the snap-on lid, it just uses pressure. And there are no reels. So in this, you simply take your sheet film, you put it into each, and this thing holds 10 sheets of 4x5. So it would be 2 sheets per cylinder. There are other models. There's one slightly larger than this, which will hold 6 sheets of 4x5 or 5x7. A larger one that holds 6 sheets of 8x10. And then they start getting into one just giant cylinder, one single cylinder inside, either for 11x14, 16x20, or even 20x24. I do have a couple of those, but it's just a big giant black cylinder with nothing in it. Okay, now the other part of the versatility of this. I've shown you everything as it comes for film. You can also do prints in these, and that's actually how this guy is set up. This is for prints. So the way that you would do a print is you would remove the core. So this guy, there's no core. Instead, you would use, let me find them in here. Sorry, they're small, so they're all the way on the bottom. Okay, these little black clips, sorry, I'm not going to get closer to the camera. These little black clips, inside these tanks are ridges. And you would simply slide it onto a ridge. Now you would have to space them around depending on the size print that you're doing. This, for example, will do 2 4x5 test prints. And so you can then slide the paper down the wall between these ridges. So the paper just kind of hugs the wall. And that will allow you to process a print. But if you don't use a core, you're going to fog your paper. So what do you do? Well, you use a lid with a cup. The difference, this is a lid with a funnel. I don't know if you can see that in the light. So the funnel allows the core to just slide over, and that creates the light tight seal, because then the core reaches down to the bottom of the tank. But if you're doing a print, you don't want that core and all that mess trying to line that up, because there's nothing to keep it centered without the spiral in there. So instead, you can just twist it out and put the cup in its place. Again, it just twists in. Now, when you close the lid, you pour your liquid into the hole. It fills up the cup. It's not touched the paper. The paper's still dry. When you tilt this on its side, it all pours out of the cup into the drum, but it's already rotating. And so that starts to process your print, and you have fairly even development without filling it up, and then you've got to get it to your processor, and it's developing the bottom, but nothing else. Doesn't do anything like that. The cup's very versatile, and they just pop in and out, so you can use the same lids. You just have to swap out the funnel for the cup. It works just as well on the small ones. Take that out. You can take the funnel off of this and put the cup on the 1500 lid. If I can get it lined up. There we go. Now I can put it in there. What can I process in this? A single 8x10 print will work just fine. You can also do a single sheet of 8x10 film in here. The cup, again, would keep the liquid separate from the film still dry until you tilt it, and then it flows out across the surface. So a double tank like this, a 2-reel tank in the double extension, or a full-size extension, will allow a full 8x10. So very, very versatile there. The smaller tank by itself, you can do 1, maybe 2 4x5s. However, these have smooth walls. You're not going to do any of that little print clip down there at all. So if you do this with a print, 1 piece of paper only, any more than that, you're just going to ruin it. So that's really about it for the Jobo system. With just this, the small tank, 1 extension, the lid, and then a cup, as well as the film core, reels, and funnel, you can do sheet film all the way up to 8x10, or you can do all of your roll film, and then you can print up to 8x10 as well, all in the light, all very easily. So versatile system. If you need a system that works for just about everything, they've done a really good job making it work. Now, I've got a lot of stuff here, and that's mostly because it's just like grab box stuff. Like I'll get a box of stuff from someone and it's got a tank or some extra bits and pieces. It's useful because if I'm going to make a 16x20 print, which this will do a full 16x20, then I have 3 of these. So I can easily make 3 prints before I have to wash and dry everything. And then when it comes to film, if I've got a lot of film to do, I can grab these reels and this 1 tank and get up to 10 rolls processed at once. And it's all consistent. So if you're thinking about getting a film system where you don't have to piecemeal a bunch of different stuff together, I would say go for a Jobo tank. They're easily available online, eBay. There are Chinese knockoffs. We'll get some of that one day and we'll test it out, see how it compares. We'll also see if it's compatible. Like, can we lock it into this, still be light tight, watertight, and everything like that? Because that may be useful as well, especially if you're in the Asia market. It might be much easier to get. So we're going to put that silver base through its paces coming up hopefully with this series, if I can get the time to do it. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Hope this answered some questions, cleared some stuff up for those of you that want to be able to use this for film and paper, and how it's used. So if you need any help with that, just reach out. I'm always happy to answer. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.